How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be working on the coasters. A lot of you guys have been seeing some of the things I've been making. I made this little jig here, the punch, the 3-inch punch to cut my leather punch or my leather plugs out that are going to go in the coasters. And I was just going to give you a quick video here and show you how I build them and what they're made out of. So check it out. Alright, this video started out, I just wanted to know what I could do with this nice old wood. I cut this up for firewood. This is all firewood. These were old boards. They're really old. They're well over 100 years old, these boards right here. And you could see the marks in them that they are very old. And I thought, man, what a nice looking coaster that would be. And as you can see, there's still more laying in there. I don't have a whole bunch of them, but I got a few. And we're going to cut one up and show you how I did it, or how I'm doing it. Alright, the first thing I need to do is cut me a 4-inch square here. And I got my table saw set up here to cut 4 inches. And we're just going to cut a couple 4-inch pieces of this stuff. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to sand them up a little bit just to clean them. Get some of the rough off of them. And they're pretty old. This actually was an old chicken coop. A couple boards off of an old chicken coop, at least 100 years old. Okay, this is a little jig that I had made to put this piece of wood in. This wood comes right out of there. It's just a little block to hold this thing down so I can drill this. Now, I'm using this expandable drill bit to cut me a 3-inch hole. Really, you need a Forstner bit, a 3-inch Forstner bit for this project, because this one here doesn't really cut a flush bottom, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now if you look at this, it's not flush in there. The hole is pushed up in the middle. You can see right here where the bottom of this bit cut. So I'll show you what I did to smooth mine out without the Forstner bit. But if I was to make a bunch of these, I would want that 3-inch Forstner bit. Alright, this is what I use to flatten the bottom out. It's just basically a piece of sandpaper. It's like a 40 grit paper on a pad. And I used it in my drill press. And like I said, if you was going to make a lot of these, you probably want that Forstner bit because you would eliminate this tool altogether. So basically what I'm going to do is sand it down to almost the bottom of that hole. Okay, now our little piece that was sticking up in the bottom is a lot flatter now than what it was. And what we're going to do is we're going to use epoxy on the bottom of this anyhow, so it'll level it out even a little bit more. But, like I said, a Forstner bit would eliminate this tool altogether. One shot, done with it, pretty easy. But a Forstner bit is not something you can just pick up, even at like Lowe's, Home Depot. It's hard to get a 3-inch Forstner bit. You have to order it off a line. And I'll be ordering one off of Amazon if I decide to do a bunch of these. Okay, now that we got our 2 little coasters cut and drilled out there, we're going to go ahead and get them in the house where the leather is. And we're going to have to do some more work to these. So they're sanded down pretty good. We don't have to worry about any of that. All we got to do now, we're going to do some paint on the inside of here, black, on both of these, and these are going to get a clear coat just to keep that wood from kind of falling apart because it's pretty old wood. Oh man, I almost forgot. One more thing we got to do here. We got to burn these edges so it kind of blends in with the rest of the wood. So let's get our old trusty propane torch out. I'm going to cook this thing a little bit. Man, that looks much better right there. Actually, we could burn the top. That looks pretty awesome, actually. So I'll take a little bit of sandpaper over them and scuff them up, take some of the black off of them, just to make them look good. I think they'll be all right. Okay, here are leather plugs, the leather pieces that we had cut out with the 3-inch cutter that we made. If you didn't see that video, try to leave a link for you. There's 4 of them. We have 4 of these. I already had 2 done. So we got 2 sets here. And we're going to go ahead and get to painting the insides of these. Okay, I'm going to let Julie go ahead and paint these because she's a much better painter than I am. So she's going to paint only the inside of this ring, a very a light coat right up to the top of the edge of the wood there. I want that to be dark down in there so when we put our piece of leather down in there, you're not going to see that light colored wood. Okay, as you guys can see, Julie got the insides of them painted up really nice. Now what she's going to do is just put a semi-gloss, more of a matte finish, clear coat on it, on these pieces. So it kind of holds the wood together. Okay, as you can see, I have one of these done already. But what we're going to do here, we want them all to look like this one here. So I'm going to do this kind of quick. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because it's not more than just putting stamps on, and you can do the stamps, the stenciling, any way you want. If you want to put a deer on there, or you want to put something else in the middle there, it's not really a big deal, but I'll go ahead and work on one of these just to give you guys an idea of what I'm doing with it. And I'm just using this to mark the edge because I like them fake, these are kind of fake stitches around there, and I think they look pretty good on there. So I'm just using this little tool, working my way around it, and that gives me an idea where my that row of stitch, that stitch looking thing there is going to go. So go ahead and get this one, get each one of these marked up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now that we got those all the little mark around there, we'll go ahead and clean up the edge of this. I'm just going to kind of round this edge off. And we'll do this to all 3 of them there. Of course, I already done the one, you guys seen it. It looks pretty good. Okay, now that we got all those edges cleaned up there a little bit, we're going to go ahead and wet this down a little bit more. And we're going to go around that outside edge and put that, we're going to take our stitching wheel. We're not going to be putting stitches in this. We're just going to take our stitching wheel. I'm going to rock this thing in here real good all the way around. And it should give us a real nice looking, look like there's stitches in there. That's kind of what I want to look. I want the look of the stitch. You can see how it kind of looks like stitches. And that's what it is, the stitching wheel to mark your stitch holes. We're just not putting any stitches in it. It's pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and finish these up and then we'll start on something else. Okay, now we got all of our stitches done here. What we're going to do is we're going to put our little decoration in the middle, and we're going to be putting a leaf and 2 acorns on each one of these. And then we'll be doing the stamp, the basket weave stamp. These don't have to be perfect in there. You just want them close to the center. Then we're going to throw a couple acorns in there, just like as if they were hanging off the tree on the bottom of this. So we have our acorns and our leaf, and now it's just a matter of putting our basket weave on. It's a little bit tricky putting that basket weave on, especially when you got the design in the middle, because I actually put a line through the middle and then tried to follow the line, and it was a little bit tough, but I did okay. So I just take the my ruler here, just kind of a light mark going across here, a very light mark, and I don't do any of them straight. And then what I would do is I'll go ahead and start stamping this where I want my first stamp here to go. And then I will take this and mark this out until I get to the other side, and then stamp one over here. I did it on that one, it seemed to work out okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'll go ahead and get this thing stamped up, and then we'll get you guys back in here. Well, I wish you guys would have told me I screwed up. I was supposed to put this little lip around here first, but it looks like we're going to have 2 different ones. So we'll make 2 sets, but they'll be a little bit different. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this one like this one here. It'll be okay. At least 2 of them will be the same and 2 will be the same. We'll have 2 different sets here. So we'll go ahead and basically we're going to do this, and it's all the same as what we were doing there. We're going to do we're just going to do this little guy all the way around the outside edge, and then we'll do the basket weave on the inside. I guess that's what you get when you kind of get into a hurry. You don't want to really get into much of a hurry with this stuff, especially when you're just starting out like me. This is actually pretty easy to do. It's just time consuming, that's all. Just a little time consuming. Alright, as you can see, we have these all done. We have this set and this set. Just a little different decoration, but they'll be fine. So all the stenciling's done, so I'm going to just go ahead and push this thing out of the way, and we're going to put some of the antique gel. I've been using this. This is the tan. It's just an antique gel, which gives it kind of a weathered look to make it look a little bit old and antique. So we'll go ahead and get some of this gel, and we're going to just rub it into these real good, and then we're almost done with this project. We're really close. Basically just got to put the antique gel on, and then we'll put a little saddle soap on them, and after that we can go ahead and glue them down in Our little coaster holders are blocks of wood that we had used, made for them. Now I'm just going to run the slicker tool over top of these just to smooth up that edge. It was a little bit roughed up. And then we'll have these guys just about done. Just about done. Okay, our little leather pads are all finished now, and let's see, our little chunks of wood are all finished. And there's actually two different colored ones here, because you guys remember in the garage, I burnt this set here. I burned it a little bit. This I didn't burn, but I think they both look just as good. And now what we're going to get to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use some of my epoxy, the same epoxy that I use for my knives, and we're going to center these up in here real nice and get them glued into place. And we'll have our coasters all finished. So let's get the epoxy in these down now. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these on top of each other. And we're going to let them dry because they stick up just a little bit higher than the wood. So I'm going to let them sit there. I'm going to put this guy, which is pretty heavy, right on the top of these. And then we're just going to let them set up and dry real good. Alright, our coasters are all finished now. I think they look really nice and perfect for a cup to set on. No problem at all. I really like them. I think they turned out really nice. And for that wood being 100 years old, it looks a little rough, but that's what you want. Now on the back of each one of them, I put my little stamp on there. It's got KDR on it. Each one of them has a stamp on them. Burn them right in there. I think they turned out really nice. Well, I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment if you'd like. Till next time.